been like 3 days since I touched the car. So we had Hurricane Milton come, and I'm in Orlando, so it didn't really hit us that hard, but my car has the water leak on the roof, so it would have been best to just keep it in the storage. So I took the bumper off and threw it in storage. It's now Thursday, which is, it hit last night. So yeah, honestly the car looks sick without a bumper. And just like that, the bumper is now back on. It looks like a GT now. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing is getting rid of the cruise control in the throttle box. So your throttle cable comes to the firewall here. It comes out underneath everything, and then it goes to this box here. And then after it goes to this box, 2 lines come back out, and you have 1 line that goes all the way to your throttle body here. And then you've got another line that goes across the firewall into your cruise control box right there. But this is basically like the throttle box where all the cables are. So I'm gonna be getting rid of that and the cruise control box, and it should clean up along here and like this mess of like wires and stuff. Should clean it up pretty well. I think you have to take this apart to a certain extent in order to get the whole box out, but there should be like a couple 10s or 12s from here that you take off. You're gonna take off these 2 10s here that hold this bracket in, and then you're gonna take off the cable here. You just open the throttle all the way and then pull the cable out of its socket, and then those 2 bolts there for the firewall. And then it's going to be hard to show you guys, but if you go inside underneath the pedal, you don't have to take the pedal out or anything, but underneath the pedal there's like this on this car it's a yellow clip, some cars are blue. It's like this little clip in the pedal, and you want to like try to like get in there and like pop it out of socket. It's going to be pretty hard to do it. I would get like a flathead and try to like just pop it out. Once you pop it out, just you'll be good to go, and then you can take the cable loose out from the firewall and then pull the whole assembly out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the whole assembly out. Oh, another thing too is the last cable here that runs along the firewall. You're going to have to take that off, and the 2 bolts there to take off the cruise control. After that, the whole assembly should basically be free, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now and pull the assembly out, and then I'll record once I get it out. So here's where I'm at, guys. I've pulled everything out. Getting up underneath the cabin to get this out, it was not that bad. Usually this is a pain in the ass to pop out of the gas pedal, but for me it came out pretty easily. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's literally, yours is either blue or yellow like mine. So you just pop it out with these like prongs here. You kind of like squeeze them together and then push, and it should pop out. And there's 2 bolts on the firewall that hold this part of the cable in. So yeah, once you get that out, that's pretty much the hard part in my opinion. So yeah, everything is off. There's 4 nuts, 1 here, 1 there, and 2 there. And then there's the harness there for the cruise control. And so you just take those 4 nuts off, and then the whole assembly should come straight up. I had some issues because my AC line was kind of in the way, so it was pretty hard to get out. But once I finally got it out, I just unplugged the harness, pulled it straight out. I put the nuts back. You can remove all this brackets and stuff, but I'm going to be removing that once I'm done with the whole job. So yeah, this is basically where we are now. So yeah, this is going to be the cable that you're going to reuse. You're going to take this apart, this cover off, and you're going to have to undo the nuts here. And there's 2 nuts on either side. You're going to undo it to get this out of this box. And we're going to modify the end of this cable so that you can put this piece here onto this side and then run it to the gas pedal. So getting this off, it should be just this nut here and this nut on the side here, and this cover should come off, and then use a pair of wrenches on this. All right, so I got the cable out. Now this is your throttle body to the cable box, and it's kind of a pain in the ass to get it out, but there's basically just 2 screws here and here to get this cover off. Pop this cover off, and you're going to want to take it's going to be hooked up like this. You're going to want to take the cable and just kind of push it inwards so that this this plate here comes up like this, and I kind of like kept pushing the cable, and the cable like kind of like spun around so that the ball in the cable was basically where the cutout was. And then I took my screwdriver here and I just went in between and I kind of like massaged it up, and it popped out of place. As soon as it popped out of place, I just let it go, and then I did like this, kind of like this motion, and it just fully popped out, and then I pulled it off. And yeah, you'll just have to use a 14mm wrench and get one side loose. You're gonna take this nut basically completely loose after you get it off, and just leave it on these last couple threads here. What we're gonna be doing is we're going to file down this ball here. We need to file this down to get this nut off. And not only that, but we need to file it down so that we can basically put this on the cable and have it in the socket like this. So yeah, I'm gonna go look for a file real quick, and I'll try to file this down. You want this to be basically a ball shape, or not a ball shape. You're not gonna get it to be a ball shape, but you want to file it down enough so that you can get this on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually take this off and then put it on here. That way I can figure out the size. All right, so I got this off. All you guys need to do is just take your blade here. I just got this blade from Advance for like $1. So all you do is take that blade and you just cut it down the middle here, where this in between the flange parts here. And I just cut it down the middle, and you can kind of see the cut there. And you definitely don't want to remove too much material. So I literally just go back and forth on it like this until you get the cut started. As soon as you get like a little cut started, you can just apply pressure, push down. And I had it on the concrete, and I was basically pushing down, and it went all the way through. Now as soon as you do that, you want to be careful. You don't want to snap the other side of it, so you don't want to bend it too much. I took 2 pairs of pliers here, needle noses, and I just grabbed one side and the other side, and I kind of pulled them apart just a little bit. I pulled it apart just enough for it to slip off this line. You don't want to do it any more than that, because you don't want to break this. You want to you need this, so, and you want to keep it in good condition. All right, so I got it filed just enough to get the bolt off, the bolt that was here, the second one. And these fender washers that I was going to use are too small to fit on the threaded part here. So I grabbed some spare washers here. And what you're gonna wanna do is just put one in first. You're gonna put one in first, and then you're gonna go ahead and thread this into the car, or put this into the car. And then once it's in the car, you can go through and slide on your second washer here. And then once you get that on, slide on the nut. And then once you get those on, go ahead and slide this on here, and then put it into basically like how it was before. And make sure everything is loose. Don't tighten up the nuts yet, because you're gonna have to position this a certain way to get it to fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now, a quick note, I didn't file this all the way down. I'm using like a hand file, and I barely got it filed down enough to get the bolt off. But I'm probably gonna go home and use like a cutoff wheel to grind it down more if this doesn't give me enough slack in order to adjust the cable right. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in like this. So I was having issues threading on the other nut while I was under there. So I went ahead and I backed out this nut on here as far as I could get it. So this is as far back as it goes. And now when I put it in, I should have enough threads poking through to thread the nut on the inside on. Super windy because of the hurricane, but anyways, I got everything hooked up. It's kind of a pain in the ass to you have to be on the floor on the driver's side, and you kind of have to feed the washer in, and then you have to feed the nut in, and then also get the yellow thingy on and then pop it in. But once you do all that and you have it fairly tightened up, you should be good to go on that part. Now I haven't fully tightened it up because I'm going to show you guys how you're supposed to route the cable. But the length that I have currently seems to be enough length. But I'm still going to go back and pull it out and grind it down. And then I'm going to reinstall it just so that it fits in the socket better. All right, hopefully the wind doesn't mess up the video. But as you can see here, I have it coming out, and then underneath, I have an aftermarket ground cable here, but I have it coming underneath this ground cable and underneath the brake booster hose. And so this is how I have it. And then basically, I'm gonna lay it down like that. I'm gonna go ahead and install this bracket here and hook the throttle up. So I have everything pretty much buttoned up. I have the brake booster hose back on, and I still have a decent amount of adjustment on this bracket here. So here's the slack that I currently have it at. So it's got some slack to it, and I personally like it having a little slack to it. So the throttle cable works just fine. I went inside and modulated the gas pedal, and it's working pretty well. My only issue is I didn't file down that ball, or I mean the little cylinder shape. I didn't file it down enough. You have to file it down enough so that it fits in the yellow part, because right now it's sitting at an angle kind of outside of the yellow part. So I'm actually gonna go home and use like a cutoff wheel and just grind down on the side of it, and hopefully get it short enough to fit into the yellow socket. All right, so I just got out of my unit, and my first thoughts is the pedal is super light. Like I barely have to give it gas, and it just goes. Like I have to like relearn how to drive it. It's super light. So I don't know, maybe one of those one of the cables was dragging on something, but I don't know. The gas pedal has always been kind of heavy, and like not heavy in a bad way, but it's always been kind of like hard. I don't know how to explain it. It was just heavier, but now it's like super light, like my Honda's. Kind of feels like my Honda's. Yeah, downshifting's a lot better. That's crazy. It's third. But yeah, it literally like, it's perfect. All right, so I'm back at the unit. While I was at my house, I went ahead and took it all back apart. I ran a tap through the threads because they were like boogered up. So I ran a tap through the threads, and now it's super easy to get on and off. I don't have to get a wrench in the cabin in order to get it off. So I did that, and I also went through and I took a angle grinder and I grinded down the what is that? The little cylinder part that goes onto the gas pedal. I grinded it down into like a ball as best as I could. And now it sits a lot better in the socket, and that part is perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back off and take off those washers. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these out, and then I'm going to take it apart, throw them on. I was using these washers, and yeah, they're fucked up, and I was trying to drill it with my Tomei drill bit, but it wasn't working out so well. So these were the old washers, but I went and grabbed some like lock washers for my bolts bin, and here's how it looks. So yeah, those are I have 2 lock washers on either side, and they ended up being the perfect size. And then I put the 2 bolts back in. They're not bolting anything down, but so I put those back in, and everything's back together. Yeah, I'm just gonna take off the brackets now. Unfortunately, it's raining, but I have the car out, and I took off the brackets there, and I tucked the harness that went to whatever was over there, and I tucked it in under where the AC dryer is. And I took off most of the stuff on the firewall. There was like a thing here holding a harness, and I just kind of tucked it back here in all this madness. So yeah, but yeah, it's basically completely deleted. It's just how it looks. The engine looks so bare, and I don't have a twin turbo, so it's definitely empty in here. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. 10 out of 10 mod. I would recommend doing it, and there's not that much that you need in terms of like just getting it to work. You don't have to buy a new throttle cable. Just reuse the one like I said, and just modify it like I said. Definitely improve the throttle response for me personally. Like I wish I would have done it sooner, because I was having so many throttle issues, and I actually rebuilt my throttle body, and then I just had the issue with the pedal just being so like heavy sometimes and it would just stick. But now that's completely fixed and cleaned up the engine bay, so that's an added bonus. And like the throttle response is way better. I can rev match downshift and all that. I'm gonna wrap up the video here and let me know your thoughts on this install. If anyone has any questions about how to do it, I don't record the best, and I didn't record me actually doing it. So if you guys get stuck along the way, just drop a comment down below. Let me know your questions, and please subscribe and drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.